Hey, Tony Chips here from Chiappetta Shoes. This is Workshop Live. It is a lovely Friday, August 30th. Today we have an interesting customer that has had custom orthotics from us. She is an A6 foot type, very small, size 5, about a 3E, 4E foot. So a lot of width, and we work with a New Balance 990. It's a really good shoe for her. We got a 5.2E, fits great. So she's really like a 4.5 in American sizing. And with her foot, we have made her custom orthotics for quite a long time. We have our standard 4-layer insert. We've had a number of different modifications. Main issues over the years has been bunion, hammer toe issues. She's had surgery a few years ago. Things have been pretty good. Now, point of this conversation that we're doing today is we have a lot of foot doctors that recommend lateral posting. Now, not necessarily on the heel, but fifth metatarsal posting. I'm not a fan of fifth metatarsal posting. In theory, when we do a fifth metatarsal post, so this is the lateral outside aspect of an insert when you load this spot up. The idea with that is that you're taking, this is a left foot, and we're taking that post from the fifth metatarsal base to usually about the middle to middle end of the fifth metatarsal bone. When you load that up, you're kind of shifting the weight into the middle section of the foot. Problem with that is that when you're loading up the lateral aspect of the foot, either heel or the fifth metatarsal, what you're often doing is you're rotating and creating a valgus alignment with the knee, or a tibial torsion situation where you're rotating the foot. Lateral posting has a direct impact on the ankle, and it translates up very quickly into the foot. If we're dealing with a flatter foot with more pronation or flexibility, medial posting straightens things out a bit. So we're much more prone to do medial posting versus lateral posting. Now, if we don't like this, this customer again, New Balance 990, she's an A6 foot type. She has, as right now, her main issue is that she's been supinating too much for the last couple of months. Now, supination can be caused by a couple of different factors. When we're dealing with this, oftentimes we see supination as a compensatory movement. Your body isn't getting enough either on the medial or middle longitudinal side of things, so your brain says, hey, turn more to the outside, okay? Now, we tried this. This has been about a week and a half, and this is creating more pressure, and it's translating into her knee really quick. Any of the A foot types oftentimes have a lot of rigidity in the system, so what we have is a loading of a rigid foot. So we're pushing up on an already rigid foot, and we're just creating a lot of strain both in the midfoot structures as well as up above in the knee. So what we're going to do today is we're going to remove this piece here. We're going to do a better solution. So right now we're going to take you over to the grinder and start fresh. Okay, take you back over here. Going top down. Okay, so with anytime we have the opportunity, we don't want to do it too much, but we like to give it a good rub down with a little acetone. Closed cell foams respond to heat, so if we reheat up a lot of these materials, they will re-expand and puff back up, which is always nice and nice. We're gonna do that real quick. Okay, so what's our problem? Our problem is A6 foot type over-supination over the last 2 months. We tried lateral posting, and that created more friction and pressure, specifically into the knee, which we do not want. Now we're gonna go my way. That lateral posting it's a common solution for a lot of foot doctors, but I've mentioned this here in our workshop lives, as well as on LinkedIn and the socials. But I don't like lateral posting. It rarely works unless you have a real cavus foot. C9 and a C13. Those 2 foot types can be incredibly finicky. Sometimes they like a lot of lateral posting just because their foot's naturally really cavus. Sometimes they don't like anything out there. So if they're a C9 and C13 and have like limber mobility, they can handle that extra posting. If they're a rigid C9 or C13, lateral posting doesn't work. So you got 2 out of the 24 that work half the time. And sometimes when we talk about lateral posting, it really depends on where you go. If you're going to work more into the midfoot and to the forefoot, then you can go back a little bit farther. But even if we're going to do a lateral posting, we're still going to only work from about the midway point of that 5th met forward. So lateral posting on the forefoot, good, but it's got to be in the right spot. So right now we have too much supination, rolling to the outside. What we're going to work with is some cushion cork and some multi-cork. And with this customer's left foot, we've had a history of heavy callousing on the 2nd and 3rd metatarsals. So we have this little cutout. We're going to leave the left side as is on the forefoot. On the right side, that's where we have a tailor's bunion that's kind of forming, really becoming an issue, potentially just because of the over-supination. But there is also a few other factors that could be leading to the tailor's bunion. Okay, so when we're dealing with over-supination on a medium to a medium-high arch, what are we looking to do? Lateral posting tips a foot in. That's not helping because it puts more tension on a rigid structure. What we're going to do today is more so focus on the longitudinal aspect of the foot and a cuboid bar. So a bar down the middle as well as a lateral bar, but just focusing on the cuboid section. We've noticed over the years, one of our favorite spots to hit is the longitudinal arch. It works for flat feet, it works for high arches. You can do different shapes. And longitudinal posting is kind of a great catch-all for everyone. When we do longitudinal posting, you can use a variety of materials. We typically like to start with this great stuff. It's cushion and it's a rubber and cork combination from JMS Materials. Make sure you ask for the right stuff because the regular cushion cork is more like Birkenstock multi-cork. So, Pete, what do we call rubber cork? Rubber cork. JMS calls it.
Rubber cork, we call it cushion cork.
Right, we call cushion cork, but JMS, where you buy it from, calls it rubber cork. So, ask for rubber cork. Rubber cork's a really good catch-all. It comes in 1/8 inch or 3 mil, as well as 1/4 inch or 6 mil. Okay, so we're going to add the longitudinal arch bar on all 4 inserts, both sides, both sets. Occasionally, you know, at Chiappetta Shoes, we do free modifications, and we always respect everybody's time, especially mine, because I don't have any. But when we do modifications, we occasionally will try one combo on one set and another on another set if we have a complicated situation. I've been helping this lovely customer for quite a long time, so I'm fairly confident in this modification working very quickly. When you deal with any kind of mechanics in the feet. A big important thing to remember is that muscle memory fights all changes. So when we deal with the mechanics of the body and how the feet translate up into the ankles, knees, hips, lower back, it's a very important thing to remember that we have to give it some time, okay? And time is rarely our friend, occasionally. I don't know if anybody has any extra time, you let me know. Uniformity is incredibly important as well. And we like to make sure we get everything matched up nice and nice. Okay, so customer is an A6 foot type. Over supination issues last 6 months. Tried lateral posting on the 5th met, not the heel, over supination. Rear foot lateral posting, super not a fan of, unless you have major weight issues, obesity, a lot of turning out, separate topic that we're talking about there. Okay, so we got that. Now, both left and right, we're gonna do a cuboid bar. Now, cuboid bars are not tricky by any means, but cuboid bars, you gotta get it in the right spot. Because if you get it too far forward, you're gonna hit that 5th met base. You get it too far back, you're kind of rolling the heel. So you gotta get it right in that little notch right there. And you know, we are a big fan of cuboid bars because from a mechanical standpoint, the cool thing about cuboid bars are that you don't really feel them too much. And structurally, when you have a cuboid bar situation, you're dealing with the nerves on the outside of the foot. So you're physically pushing up in this cavus area right here to lock the heel so it doesn't roll to the outside quite as much. Any supination starts in the lower leg, works itself down from a muscular standpoint, rotates the heel to the outside, you're loading up that whole lateral aspect. So if we can hit you right past that spot, so your heel straight comes down, oftentimes over supination usually happens with people that already have a rear foot varus situation. We're loading up that spot right past the heel bone, so it kind of stops your brain from over supinating. Now, the brain aspect of it, there is a neuro response because the nerve channels that if we're pushing up a little bit more in that area do a really good job of telling the brain, hey, I don't like this is too much material, or too much pressure, so don't over supinate. And okay, so what I'm using on the outside of the foot, this cushion cork material that we do like, that I can say cushion cork all day long, it's a rubber compound, so it is open cell. The problem with open cell material is that it doesn't like to mold or wrap. So on the outside part of the foot here, we're using multi-cork. Now, multi-cork is closed cell cork EVA foam combination, and we like doing that. Now I'm gonna wrap. Sometimes you can feel it. Perfect, okay. I know exactly where to go. We're gonna have everything glued up and let it sit for a few minutes. Timing is essential. I'm doing this while the customer is waiting. At Chiappetta Shoes, we like to say, ain't no better than Chiappetta for a reason. What we do is the absolute best. I would put my product and process up to anyone in the country or world, universe. I don't know, very excited about helping robots with their feet at some point in the future. Right, Pete? We like robot feet? We don't discriminate, we'll help robot feet. They're gonna have feet, right? I mean, they might float eventually, but robots will have shoes, right, at some point. Robots can't walk around with metal feet all over the place. They're going to ruin everything. They're going to have shoes, so be ready for that. Okay, back to the subject at hand. We're getting all the glue together, and the last thing we're going to do, specifically on the right foot, is we're going to do a lateral forefoot wedge, okay? We were mentioning that when we first started. Now, why am I doing a lateral forefoot wedge? We have a Taylor's bunion irritation on that fifth metatarsal head, and if we push up more here, that's going to add more pressure, right? So we're going to do a cutout right where that spot is, but this is an A6 foot type, so the forefoot has a small valgus alignment, and the big toe is naturally lower compared to the pinky toe. So if we're wedging a forefoot valgus situation, what we're essentially doing is creating an accommodation. We're bringing the ground up to the foot. A correction would push the other way. So if you wanted to correct it, we would push up on that first med. So I think that with this lovely customer, we're going to try this out. Now, small amounts can make a big difference, and we're only using about a 1/16 of an inch of material here. This is a, give me one sec here. Okay, this is an EVA, an extra firm EVA foam we get from Acor. It's called EVA FM. Big fan of this stuff too. And this is about a 70 durometer foam. Why I like it, it comes in real thin sheets, but it's hard. So when we're dealing a forefoot wedge, cushion isn't 100% essential because we already have layers of cushion above this. Okay. Now we have the other two pieces. We have the other two pieces modified already. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So this third change is just going to be to the right side. The other two corrections are on both sides. And all right. Perfect. Okay, cool. Glue, glue, glue. All right. So we're going to take a quick break, let the glue sit for a few minutes, and we'll be right back. we are back. We're gonna take it, we're gonna finish this job up. So we have this lovely A6 foot type over supination last 2 months, tried a lateral posting on the 5th metatarsal, the whole metatarsal. It was just too much, creating a inward valgus knock-knee situation, not terribly bad, but creating some tibial torsion at the tibial plateau. Knees weren't too happy about it. Most of the time, we don't like lateral posting on the 5th met or the calcaneus, the heel bone. What we do like to do is longitudinal posting. It's a good catch-all, and we like cuboid posting. So we're going to take the top down again. All right, so on the longitudinal aspect, we have a cork and rubber combination, 1/8 inch, 2 inches long, dead set about 1/4 inch past the heel bone. We are having everything match up really nice and nice between left and right. Feet measure about the same. This lovely customer is about a 4.5, 3 each, and a wide short foot. And we're working with a New Balance 990. The lateral support of a New Balance 990, it's not a straight lat shoe obviously, but it does have a very stable structure to it, okay? So I still like the 990 as a good option. She used to wear 1540s, but they just got too hard for her. And we've been happy with the 990, but just the last 2 months have been tough on her from an overall comfort standpoint. And my pops, by directive of a local foot doctor that we're very good friends with, did some lateral posting on the 5th met, and it didn't really help the foot out, and it created some other issues between the foot and the knee itself. So that's where we're at. We were 2 weeks in, and it wasn't getting any better. So intelligently, the customer made another appointment to get us in and get a little modification. All of this is on the house. We are the best in the business for a reason. When we do modifications, we do it on the spot. This has been a 25-minute video. It'll be about a half an hour. Most of the time people wait just because they need something in their shoes. Sometimes people drop these off and we do it during the day. So to wrap around the sides, we like a material called multi-cork. It's a little bit more impressionable and softer. And this lateral spot, we're trying to hit right where the cuboid is. Okay. We're going to take this over to the grinder, just do a little finishing work, but we're in the home stretch here, people. Thank you for tuning in to the Workshop Live. I think we got 4 viewers. It's pretty good. You know, I'd like to do this more often. But these work great down the road for any informational content after the fact. So, all right. So, the last part of what we're trying to do, this left side has had a history of major callousing in the middle of the foot, 2nd, 3rd metatarsal head. We're leaving that the same. We have on the right side, we've had a Taylor's bunion that emerged about 2 months ago that correlated to this oversupination. It is something that we're considering offloading. We can do more cushioning on the outside here, but for today's purposes, we're accommodating the forefoot. We have an A6 foot type forefoot valgus, so the big toe is lower compared to the pinky toe without any weight. And perfecto. Now, forefoot wedging, I am a fan of. Can be effective for lots of different foot types. In this iteration here, we're avoiding that 5th metatarsal head because we already have a little enlargement and pressure in that area. So I want to keep her happy. Now, okay, perfect. All right, we're going to take this over to the grinder, get things wrapped up. Thank you very much. 2 more seconds. All right. Can't see me, but I'm giving a little pressure. Almost there. Okay. First things first, safety first, thank you, Blippi. Contacts. All right, that's a wrap, folks. We got an A6 foot type over supination, modified longitudinal arch bar, lateral cuboid bar, a few extra goodies up in the front that are going to steer the foot in the right direction. Thank you for tuning in, and always, what should I say? Don't forget, ain't no better than Chiappetta. Ciao.